Hi everyone, this is Lara Hammock from the Marble Jar channel, and in today's video I'll share my system for making unique and varied stir fries with no fuss. So I have this weird thing where I don't like making the same recipe more than one time. It's one of the odder things about me, I think, and there are quite a few to choose from. But there is one thing that I make almost every week, and that is stir fry. And I can do that because when you factor in all of the different choices in vegetables, in proteins, and in sauces, there are practically an infinite number of varieties of stir fry. Plus it's healthy, my family generally likes it, and it's an all-in-one dish. It's also something that I can totally make on autopilot. I know the sequence of events by heart. The only complication is making the sauce, but I have a solution for that, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Oh, and even though I would love to take all of the credit for all of this, I have to give a shout out to the good folks at Cooks Illustrated for the stir fry tips and most of the sauce recipes. Their magazine is full of the best scientifically tested cooking practices, and I love it. Okay, so first let's cover the 4 components that make up a stir fry. Number 1, veggies. You have to pick 2 vegetables. It doesn't really matter which ones you choose. Some possibilities are bell peppers, mushrooms, baby corn, snow peas, zucchini, Napa cabbage, broccoli, bamboo shoots, but you can choose whatever you like in a stir fry. Number 2, protein. Pick 1 protein. Some of my favorites are tofu, chicken, shrimp, beef, pork. I use ground beef or even sausage. Number 3, minced fresh garlic or ginger. In a pinch, I use prepared garlic and ginger in a tube. Stir-fry purists will not like that shortcut, but they will probably have issues with a couple of the choices that I'm making here. And number 4, a sauce plus some cornstarch. So I have a billion sauce recipes, but usually I choose one of 6 sauces from Cooks Illustrated. More on that in a little bit. So now let's go through the steps. The first thing you're going to do is cut up all of your ingredients into bite-sized pieces. So for veggies, I used bell peppers and mushrooms. So next you are going to combine the ingredients for the sauce, make up the sauce. More on that a little bit later. And now you're going to start out by stir frying the protein in a couple of tablespoons of vegetable oil until the protein is just browned, and then remove it from the pan. So I used chicken in this dish. So stir frying generally means cooking on high and stirring constantly. But I will say that when you first put the protein in, you want it to start browning on the bottom, so let it alone for a little bit before you start stirring constantly. So I like to use a large flat bottom sauteed pan rather than a wok because I think it heats everything a little more uniformly. Okay, add a little more oil and you're going to stir fry all of the vegetables until they are done. We're just about done. So if you're cooking a vegetable like broccoli, which really needs to be steamed, you can either steam it in the pan by adding a little bit of water and covering it, or you could do what I do, which is just stick it in the microwave for like 3 minutes or so before you start stir frying. So at this point, you are going to create a well in the center of the veggies, which means you're going to just push all of the vegetables out to the side of the pan, and you're going to add about a tablespoon more of oil and a teaspoon each of minced ginger and garlic. Saute those in the oil in the center of the pan for just about a minute, and then mix that in with the rest of the veggies. Okay, so now it's time to dump all the protein back in, and let's talk about the sauce. Before you add in the sauce, you're going to whisk in 1 tablespoon of cornstarch just to thicken up the sauce, okay? Then pour the sauce into the pan, stir it to combine it, let it cook for about a minute to thicken, and it's done. The whole thing is easy, it's fast, and it's healthy, and it looks good, right? So let's talk for a minute about the sauce. I hate having to pull out all of the like 6 to 8 ingredients for the sauce. Plus, I don't have sauce ingredients memorized, so I usually have to look up a recipe. So this complicates my super easy autopilot meal. So I created a solution. I make up 16 batches of sauce in advance. I freeze them flat, and I quickly thaw one right before cooking. So I make 4 each of our 2 favorite sauces, and then 2 each of 4 additional specialty sauces. It usually takes me about an hour to put all of these sauces together and clean up, but that saves so much time and mental energy on a busy cooking night. So first, I get out all of the ingredients that I need, and then I use a Sharpie to label quart-sized freezer bags with the sauce names. So that is way harder to do after they are full of liquid. I make 4 sauces at a time, so I get the bags to stand up in containers so that I can fill them easily. And then I get out all the measuring cups and spoons in my house, literally I use all of them, and I go to town measuring all the ingredients for each sauce. So I try to squeeze out as much air as possible, I seal up the bags, and I freeze them flat, stacked on top of each other. So once they are frozen, they can actually be stored vertically, file style, in the freezer so that you can easily leaf through and see the sauce names. And because I freeze them flat, they take under a minute to thaw in a bowl of hot water. Plus, you can mix the cornstarch right in the bag before pouring it into the stir fry. So I'm including a link to the spreadsheet containing the recipes for the 6 sauces that I use. Let me know what you think. Comments are always appreciated, and thanks for watching.